Good morning, Year 2. So to start today, we're going to look at how you can turn these words into adjectives. Now remember, an adjective is a describing word. Most of these words are nouns. So we've got ice, stripe, bone, stone. We've got smoke, slime, noise. Scare, that can be a noun if you have a scare. I think the only one that isn't a noun is shine, because that's to shine. It could be shining, couldn't it? Or it's shone. So most of them are nouns. What is the same, though, about all of these words? Have a look at the spelling pattern. What have they all got in common? So let's look at shine. So it's sh-I, so it's got a split digraph. Stone has, that's a long O sound, but own. Stripe has got a split digraph. Ice, they've all got a long vowel sound. Smoke has, slime has. Two haven't. We've got an oi sound for noise. And then we've got air sound for scare. But a lot of them have got split digraphs. Now what we want to do is to turn them into adjectives. So we're going to write shiny, stony, bony, stripy, icy, scary, smoky, slimy and noisy. Now have a think for a moment. How are you going to turn those words into adjectives? You've got to add something and you've got to take something away. Let's get a different pen colour. Now you might have worked out that you have to add a Y. And just like with some other suffixes, when you're adding an ending onto a word with an E, like when you add ing, you drop the E. So what we're going to do, I want you to write both of these words into your book. So you're going to write the first one, you're going to write shine, and then we're going to cross out the E, add a Y, and you're going to write shiny. So we've got stone, and now we've got stony, bone, bony, stripe, stripy. And it's very easy to forget with these words to drop the E. That's a mistake lots of grown-ups make as well. So ice, icy, scare, scary, smoke, smoky, slime, slimy, noise, noisy. So make sure you write the whole word out properly, not just with the crossed out bits, because it can look a bit strange with the crossed out bit. And shiny is one of our minion words, isn't it? And remember, it looks a bit like shinny. So that is shiny. So can you write those neatly into your book? We're going to look at a couple more pages of the text that we're using to inspire our writing this week. So what have we got here? We've got a flemping bunt Himmler feeds on baby mer nibblers and replaces them in the nest. He's exposed when they all turn into adults and eat him. Remember, we learnt about the mer nibblers yesterday, didn't we? That was them. And this one is an underblenge. Snurbulent splench sucker that captures prey by sticking to their faces and suffocating them. Its suckers are impossible to prize off. Unfortunately, it can't catch anything as it can't move from the rock it was born on. If you notice, there's a few made up words in there. This one's called a blunging. Hamble springs around happily, caring for its young. It's not so happy when it has to watch the adult mer nibbler rip its baby's head off. And this one is the Munty Flumple. This little dough-brained chump Miljet likes everything. It wanders around and stares at things, instantly falling in love. It will stand staring for days until the flanimal it is staring at moves away. If it falls in love with a glonk, it is there forever. A splunge. Quite literally a bag of nerves, so utterly terrified of everything it splunges at birth. This causes both parents to do the same. Now we've got a honk. Moly squid that sleeps all day until for no reason it makes the loudest noise on the planet, causing its nose to trumpet up to 50 times normal size. It then falls to the floor exhausted and fast asleep. This week you're going to be writing a creature report about the imaginary character you've created, so the one you drew yesterday. If you're not happy with the one you drew yesterday, you can always invent another one to write about. So today we're just going to be thinking about the appearance So that means what it looks like. Now you started that yesterday because you thought of noun phrases to describe and label your creature. So today you're going to be using those noun phrases in sentences to describe what it looks like. So you're going to start off by writing the title, Creature Report. Then you're going to write appearance, and then you're going to write some sentences, only 3 or 4 sentences, about what it looks like. And then on the other days, we're going to do some of the other characteristics of your creature. Now, I've chosen a creature from the book. I haven't copied the description. I've made up my own description to match one of the images in the book. And I've called this creature a squiffle pop. So remember, you need to think of a name for yours. And this is my paragraph describing what it looks like. So we're going to read it together now. The squiffle pop has a cute little round face and a pink squishy body. Interestingly, it has no nose because it smells through its mouth. When its mouth is closed, it can't smell a thing. It has 4 blubbery blobs, bibbles, on top of its head that only appear in the summer. Surprisingly, it has 3 toes on each foot, which it uses to breathe. It is very dangerous for a squiffle pop to wear shoes, as it would suffocate. Only flip-flops are allowed. So let's have a look at some of the different types of words that I've used. Now, because we're describing appearance, it's got to have adjectives. So we've got cute, little, round. And we've got pink, squishy, body. And I think those are the main adjectives. Oh, we've got 4 blubbery blobs on top of its head. Now, are there any adjectives? Let's use the right colour for the adjectives. I mean adverbs. Are there any adverbs? So we've got interestingly, which is a really useful one to use when you're writing about an imaginary creature. And we've got surprisingly, which is another good one to use. So in your sentences, you can magpie some of these ideas and maybe start a sentence with interestingly or surprisingly. Now, can you spot any conjunctions in there? We've got an and we've got a because, and I think we had a that. But a that only appear in the summer. Now, I got a bit distracted, didn't I? And I started talking about how it breathes. Remember, you're just really describing what it looks like, because I started talking about it breathing through its toes, and then I thought, what would happen if it put shoes on? It would suffocate. So you can start adding silly little details just like they have in the book Flanimals. So you are going to write 3 or 4 sentences describing what your creature looks like and try. Your TLP is can I use sentences to describe an imaginary creature? So you're going to try and include adjectives. And it's a bit difficult not to include adjectives when you're describing something. So we've got examples like huge, hairy, cute. Try and include an adverb to start a sentence, like interestingly or surprisingly, and hopefully squeeze in a conjunction like because when you're explaining why it's got a certain feature. You need to find a blank piece of paper in your writing book, so start a new page. I know the paper's got lines on it, but you need to find a new page, write creature reports at the top, then underneath write appearance, and then you're going to start describing your creature. And so you could start off with the, and then the name of your creature, the has. And then you could start describing it, and then you could write an interestingly, dot, and then you could carry on describing the different features. So good luck with that. Remember, it's just 3 or 4 sentences, and just about try and focus on what it looks like, because we're going to go think about other ideas about the creature later on in the week.